Wonder what?
I just wonder what, someone else is thinking when they're listening to me talk. Just how I
You
talk.
never know just how you look through other people's eyes.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Unless
that's what you were talking about.
you believe the other people are figments of your imagination.
You just wonder what they're thinking of.
Have you ever wondered if
like,
people are generally...
I'm wondering what you're thinking of me.
I am a figment of your imagination. So I know what you know, but I know it secretly. Isn't that weird? That's the way it is in a dream when you sleep at night. Those people aren't real. They're figments of your imagination. Right? Do you believe that, or do you believe the dream continues on after you wake up from it?
Well,
like when you go to sleep
honestly,
at night, do you believe that dream continues on after you wake up from it? Or do you believe the whole dream revolves around you? When you wake up, it's over. Everybody else is just an extension of your imagination. Is that how you feel about dreams, or do you have a different philosophy about them? Because I just explained to you mine. Those people are not anything but figments of your imagination, just like in real life. But real life doesn't seem that way, just like a dream doesn't seem that way while it's happening. But in all honesty, I honestly believe that real life is no different than a dream. I guess I am the deepest core. Do you know what solipsism is?
No.
You've never heard that word?
Solipsism?
Yeah. That's like the definition of like what I think is actually real. I am a solipsist to the highest degree. So you wondering what goes through people's minds, other people's?
Yeah. Because
what do you think of that principle that I just said? That it's just like in a dream. I'm not really a separate entity. All that exists is you. I'm just a figment of your imagination. And when you die in this world or dream or whatever, this all comes to an end, and you're somewhere else. And then you're like, whoa! Once again, all the people that I just knew and like dreamed about were only... Like, you don't believe that there's other places in your dream that are actually going on, do you? Other than where you are, what you're able to see? What I mean is, if you dream about going out with your dad and flying a kite, you don't believe that there can actually be a separate entity in your dream somewhere else, like over in California driving a car. Like, they're in the same dream as you, but they're in a different place. Do you believe that's possible in a dream? Or that the whole thing, all that exists is where you are, what you're able to see, and what you're able to remember? There is nowhere else in the dream. Like no other existing place with another actual separate deity. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, the way that I think about it...
So do you believe that there's actually separate places in your dreams, or just what you're able to be there for? It would have to be...
It's kind of like when you dream of... You have a dream, and then you have a dream of somebody, like in your past or something, and then as soon as you wake up from that dream, you end up seeing that person that was in your dreams that day.
That's a good example of what I'm talking about. How the person in the dream... You mean how the person in the dream, if you walk up to them in real life and say, hey, do you remember all this that we did in the dream? And of course you know they're going to say no. Even though that was them in your dream, they existed in a different plane of time, yet they have no idea what they did in your dream. Is that what you're talking about? Like you know them in your dream and in real life?
What I'm talking about is like if you have a dream about somebody, and then
they have no idea
up, and it's all freaky. I've seen that happen before.
You can't walk up to somebody in real life though, and reminisce about something they did in your dream with you. You know what I mean? But in your mind,
because
in your mind, you're like, that was you in both dreams. That was you. So you're just a figment of my imagination, or one of you isn't real.
I guess the only way you could figure out is if...
There is no way to figure that out, though.
is
How
if
would you figure that out?
I mean, no, don't.
There's no way to figure out if you are a separate, if I to you am actually a separate consciousness like you. There's no way to know that. There's no way to ever be able to figure that out. Isn't that so weird? Because that's what I believe. I believe there is a good chance that I am the only actual being
No, but what I was getting at, Jason,
in the universe, and I am generally God, and I'm dreaming myself to exist. I think that's why your memory is so bad. Why you forget everything pretty much, especially dreams. You can only remember such a small portion of your dreams, and then when you get to the end of your life, you can barely remember any of it. And then I think there's a good reason for that. Could you imagine, like, doing everything imaginable, remembering everything that you did imaginable, like an infinite number of times? That'd be so depressing. Nothing would appeal. If you could remember every past life, every past dream, everything you did, it would be so depressing to remember that you've already done everything imaginable an infinite number of times. I truly believe that you have done that and that we are eternal.
Because really, okay, the way that I think about life, I mean, is like, so if one of my senses is feeling, so let's say I'm touching this tub right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm touching this tub.
That you are. What of it? What are you getting at with that?
What I was getting at is like, okay, so this tub is there. The floor is here.
So you're talking about certainties? Things that you know you're going to know before you touch them, or like in Memento? Or what do you mean? Is that what you're getting at or not? If not, then what? Did you forget the concept that you were getting at?
Because I remember
Well, anyways, what do you believe? Do you believe it's possible everything that I've just explained could actually be? Since, of course, you will never know, right? If we're in the Matrix, or if we really are all separate deities, or if this is just a dream and ongoing in this dream.
What I was getting at in my thought is, okay, so there's a tub right here and has water in it. Is that there?
In your mind.
It might be in my mind.
It's there just like it is in a dream. Alright, let's say this is a dream. Would you say that this tub is there in the dream? Because if no to that, then no to this. I would say no in both cases. None of this stuff is here. None of it is actually physically here. I truly believe this world is not actually physically here. Like, what really exists is darkness. Nothing. This infinite plane of nothing. And your imagination in this dark blackness creates you a world. And that's eternity. When you die, you go to the blackness. When you dream, when you fall asleep, you close your eyes and you go to that blackness. You can only be in that blackness for so long before your imagination just knows what to do with it, while somehow you're racing your mind. That's the fucking weirdest part. It always seems like a new frontier. Like in each dream, at the beginning of this life, like when you were first born, your mind was erased. Think about how insane that is. You cannot remember one bit of your past life, which is eternity. All those existences, all those past dreams, all those just infinite past that you've had, you don't have any recollection. It's like you're reborn. It's like you spend an eternity, your consciousness spends an eternity in that black world where your mind has to create a world. It's like it spends eternity there until everything about the last life is forgotten, including the eternity spent there, so you don't ever have to remember that pain. But I do believe you go through that at the end of every life.
That's really, yeah, I know, that's just,
That-
really sad.
When you don't have a body, because I don't think that there's no way your consciousness actually ends when you die. Some people think that you die and nothing is there, like nothing, there's no continuation, no heaven, no hell,
Well, time's gonna keep going. Everything's gonna keep going.
Well, yeah, of course it is. That's why dying and not having a continuance is impossible. If it were possible, it would have already happened. We'd already be there. That's what I believe anyway.
So, do you believe that, like,
I believe that we are eternal. It always seems so temporary, and that's one of the weird things about it. Everything seems so temporary and like final frontier. Like this life is like the end. It feels probably always feels like that. It's a good feeling too. It's a feeling like I've got to get like do as much as I can, like set life goals and do them. Because if that weren't the case, then it wouldn't just be like, yeah, whatever. This isn't very important. This isn't very historical. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't seem like you know what I'm talking about. You got something else in your mind, though. What are you doing?
can I use the bathroom upstairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just make sure you get it all in. What are you, number 1 or 2? Do you have to shit or piss?
Both.
Alright, yeah, if you're sitting. Because, dude, you're pretty fucked up. Just be quiet.